Hey everyone, it's Jen, and it's hard to believe, but it is time for the August 2023 blogging niche site income report. Like seriously, this month went by like so freaking quick. My kids went back to school. You might be able to tell from my voice. I had cold/allergies for a couple weeks, which definitely didn't help. And so let's get into this. Real quick, I do just want to mention that I've kind of switched up the way that I'm going to do these income reports. The first thing is we did actually hit 2.5 milestones this month, which is woohoo amazing. The second thing is I absolutely hate GA4 for their reporting and their graphs, so I'm just not going to include them because honestly, I just don't think they're helpful. I'm still going to include Google Search Console, but you'll see what I mean. The other thing is I've switched around the order, maybe kind of to build some suspense, but we're going to start with the least successful and then end with the most successful. So at the bottom of the barrel, we have site number 4. This is also known as Google hates this food. Why? I don't know. But I will mention this is a purely AI site. As you can see by the graph that's kind of at the bottom here, this is Google Search Console since it started 6 months ago. And this month we had a whopping 29 sessions, 34 page views, 0 revenue, and it's down like 25% since last month. There's a total of 37 posts on this site, and I did not add anything new. The next site is referred to as site number 2, which is my passion project. And you can see by this graph of the lifespan, which is about 13 months, when I first did a 301 redirect from a Shopify website to a WordPress website, it did maintain its traffic for like 2 months. And then as soon as the Shopify domain died, traffic died. Now, technically, this site is actually up this month. It had 490 sessions, 518 page views. It made a whopping $3.16. It is interesting to note that the RPM went up to $8. And overall, it's about 7% ahead. It has 53 posts total, and I did not, I think, even open this site this month. Okay, site number 5. I'm calling this a food lifestyle blog. This is literally the 3rd month, and as far as sessions go, it jumped up to 114 from 60 last month. It had 135 page views, and it had 100 last month. This site is still not monetized, but I do like the way the graph is going for Google Search Console. You can see from the beginning, it was kind of doo-doo-doo, and then now we got a little blip up. So I did not add anything to this site. This is another one. I don't even think I logged into it. It's got a whopping 12 posts and only 7 of them are indexed. I did go back and take the 5 that were not indexed and tried to re-index them. Did not make any difference. Okay, here we go. Site number 3, it starts to get interesting. This is what I call a food ideas blog. It literally is giving you ideas if you want to X, okay, to give you kind of a general idea of what this site is about. Now, this site is 8 months old. It has a total of 101 posts, and I only wrote 2 this month. This month I had just under 10,000 sessions and a little over 11,000 page views. That's pretty huge because last month it was at like 5,500 sessions and 7,000 page views. So a nice jump there. And you can kind of see in Google Search Console that every week it starts to get a little higher. Now, the fun part is that this site is on Google AdSense and it made $44.84 with an RPM of $4.32. Last month, it made $26.17 with an RPM of $3.97. I did find almost like a whole new silo. Like I have one silo that's doing really well, and I thought I was done with it. I really did. And then I kind of branched out a little bit and I actually found where I can go further deep into this silo. And it may actually become its own separate silo. I don't know. We'll have to look and see. All right. Now, this is site number 1. And technically, It started in the personal finance niche, so it is definitely YMYL-ish, okay? It is now 20 months old. I only added 5 new posts this month for a total of 404, but look at this growth, okay? Last month we had just over 34,000 sessions. This month we had 44,000. With page views, we went from 38,000 to 48,000. Mind blown. The revenue last month was $445.40, and I so wanted to hit $500 a month. Ding, ding, ding. This is milestone number one. We made $572.90 on this site this month. The RPMs actually went down, which normally the first month of a quarter is the lowest and then it goes up. So it seems strange that August was less than July, but I've seen a lot of chatter on Twitter/X that other people have noticed the same thing. So fingers crossed for next month. I stumbled across this information a couple days ago and I thought it was really mind blowing. And it also kind of shows that the more that you do this, the quicker, the better, the more experienced you get. So I wanted to show you a comparison of site number 1 and site number 3 at month 8. Site number 1 was a little over 2,100 sessions, a little over 2,200 page views, and made $9.62 on AdSense, but it had a total of 179 posts. Site number 3, we're looking at almost 10,000 sessions, a little over 11,000 page views. It made $44.84 revenue from AdSense, and it only has 101 posts. So to me, this shows that you see all these people that can take a site from like 0 to 50,000 in 6 months, but it's like their 8th, 9th, 12th, 114th site. So because I've managed to this one's the first site, and then now technically I have a third site. I have literally learned from my experiences from the first one and have been able to really, really like pretty much cut my time in half. If you think about it, I mean, more than half. So this month, with a total of 3 sites that are monetized and 2 that have no monetization at all, we made a total of $621.35. And I am amazed. Okay. Just to think that something that I grew from literal zero, nothing, I built it from scratch, is now making over $600 a month, which, by the way, that's milestone number 2, is that we hit 600. Seriously, though, that is a huge accomplishment to me because, to put it in perspective, for the entire year of 2022, my blogs made a total of $75. In January of 2023, all of my blogs made less than $40. So to go from $40 to 8 months later making $620, that just kind of shows you that it's not like overnight. It compounds and it just keeps growing and growing and growing. And just in case, kind of a wrap up on those milestones, we hit the $500 mark on site number 1. We hit $600 overall total. And I'm calling this a half milestone. We are this close to hitting 50K sessions on site number 1, which is pretty freaking awesome in my book. We have 1 month left of Q3, and then we get to see if Q4 like totally knocks our socks off. Now, my focus has changed over the last couple months, so let's just kind of reel in and show you what my focus is going to be for September. So on site number 1, the biggest site, I've recently restarted the YouTube channel for there. So this will be kind of starting month 2 of that YouTube channel. And I'm hoping to get about 8 videos up. Last month, I got 10 up. Now, I will probably still add about 5 new posts to written content to that site, but I'm going to focus on a section or a silo that seems to be really doing well on both Pinterest and Google. So I'm going to try to hit two birds with one stone. For site number 3, I'm so excited about the growth on there. And I'm going to try to add 5 more posts. And once again, I'm going to focus on what Pinterest and Google already likes for that site. And that silo that I was telling you about, that I'm going to really go even deeper on, there's like little to no competition there. And it doesn't show up yet in like different Ahrefs and SEMrush and stuff like that. So it's a gold mine that nobody else would know unless they were in it. Um, on site 3, I'm also, now that it's hit over 10,000 page views, I'm definitely going to change ad networks on there. I thought about Azoic, but then I realized that I have to change name servers and all that. And the last time I did that, it actually crashed my site. So I'm not going to go with Azoic. I am in talks with shemedia, but I got to find out if by adding a second site, it will like delay or restart my contract. So depending on what I hear back over the weekend from my rep, will kind of determine where I go on that one. I'm going to let all the other sites just continue floating along. The Google update is still technically going on. I don't think they've announced that it's quote unquote over. So maybe it'll kick site number 4 back on the field, because if you notice, we haven't had even a single impression in quite a while. If not, no biggie. I honestly don't have a whole bunch of time to work on it. So I'll get to it when I get to it, or maybe not. So, how have your sites been doing this month? What are you focusing on for next month? And if you actually made it this far, please like, follow, subscribe, leave me a comment. Let me know somebody's out there. Anyhow, have a great month, and I can't wait to see you next month.